Happy New Year, everyone! Wherever you are in the world. I'm presuming New Year has passed now for most of you, so we're at 8 PM here in the UK. Whatever you did last night, I hope it was a good one. Or if we've got some people that are in the, I don't know, where's it not quite New Year yet? Honolulu? Somewhere like that? Let me know if we've got any viewers in from Honolulu. Mark, hello. Pepper, hello. Buffalo Gaming, hello. Good to see you. Right, so just setting things up here, and you'll be happy to know I think we've actually got air traffic control for certainly for takeoff. That's a definite. And have we got any out? Let me just double check. Do we have any out on the west coast of France? No, we don't. We don't have it on the west coast, but never mind. We'll certainly have some for the takeoff. So that's quite nice. Right, we best get setted, haven't we? Take the chat off. Let's in we come. Cold and dark, and. Yeah, I don't know why. I kind of like looking around when it's cold and dark, just to enjoy the flashlight graphics. All right, so preliminary cockpit checklist. We've got our engine masters, engine mode, weather radar, landing gear, both wipers, and we can pop the batteries on. And we've also got external power. Appears to be. Hang on a minute. I always do this. Turn those back off, switch the dome lights on. Might be cheating somewhat, but there we go. Right, can see what we're doing now. Let's contact Geneva ground and get that GPU. Where are we? We need a power supply. There we go. So
Geneva ground, Easyjet 20.
Get this connected up.
Ground power unit.
I think we can forget the Nightbot. The Nightbot, for some reason, I couldn't sign into the account. So whatever the Nightbot says about final flight of 2020, ignore that. External power is now available. Let's get that connected. Now we've got that. Start the APU going as well. Magic Norm, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, the Discord channel is now up and running. Pop a link to that actually, if I can get this working on here. Do this before we get moving. But yeah, I'll pop a link in the chat, and then we can, or even the video description as well. And then anyone wants to join us on Discord for general chat throughout the day can do so. Let me just grab a link. Okay, so anyone that does want to join the Discord channel, there's your invitation link. Okay, so Geneva it is. Let's do we have a jetway to connect us here? That's going to be interesting, isn't it? Surely we can't possibly have a jetway that connects us just here. We'll find out in a moment when I ask for it to come and collect us. Andy, good evening. So close that down, we don't need that. So APU, when APU is available, we'll get the conditions. Alright, cockpit lights, let's set all those up for our flight. Turn up the panel brightness. And we'll turn into ATC in a bit as well, just so, as I said, they are currently online. So that's nice. Great that we've got controllers working on New Year's Day, isn't it? That's lovely. HD, good evening. Didn't know if you were going to be able to join us tonight, so that's good. So we're expecting runway 4 for takeoff. Obviously, in fact, we're not expecting that. We know that's certain because we've got VATSIM's ATC online, and they've told us it's runway 4. So we'll contact them for our actual departure route in due course. So HD, you've already checked the weather and that looks good. That's the beauty of having a great PM. Okay, so cockpit lights are set. ECAM recall, make sure we haven't missed anything. And oil quantity, flaps, speed, brake lever, check, disarmed and retracted. Parking brakes are set. Accu-brake pressure, which I do believe is actually modelled of sorts. I don't think it decreases if you start pressing the parking brake button, start pressing the brake button. Don't know, that'd be quite kind of neat to see, wouldn't it? Okay. Alright, let's just go through the overhead flows. So, crew supply off and start getting the ideas aligned as well. Fuel pumps on. APU is now available, so let's start getting that cabin warmed up. I think it's going to be from one cold place to another tonight. Seatbelt signs on, no electronic devices, and emergency lights are armed. So, let me get you the flight plan for today as well. So anyone that wants that, here is the operational flight plan for today. There you go. Okie dokies. Now with that in mind, let me turn up the brightness of that as well. Okay, so let me get our route loaded in from SimBrief. Geneva to Nantes, estimated time en route 1 hour 2 minutes, that's quite good. Fuel on board, that's our current fuel, remember that's not the fuel we will be taking with us. Patrick, you've checked in, fantastic. That's actually just reminded me, whilst we're doing this, we might as well start letting the passengers on board. So, start our flight.
Cabin crew, yeah, we've completed the checks, so now you can open the doors and start getting the passengers.
Okay, wonderful. So, passengers are getting loaded. Self-loaded in cargo. Performance, weight and balance, let's check. So I've got a block fuel of 4292 check, taxi fuel and trip fuel estimated to be 2245, that's all correct. Let's get that fuel loaded in, and we've got our payload tonight of HD, the alternate was SimBrief's suggestion. I didn't go and make any more. I knew I'd got you to sort for that, so I'll let you come up with the others. We should be okay, I think. Payload, double check the payload, 16328, that's correct. Zero fuel weight of 573, that's good. Terry, Happy New Year, thank you for joining. And payload is all selected as well. So, current gross weight is 615. Takeoff weight is anticipated to be 614. There we go. Never trust SimBrief. Oh, well, that's going to shatter the illusions of many people watching. Good. So, all those weights look absolutely fine. With that, let me just have a look at some, we need to get some weather and of course get a flex temp calculation. So the weather currently at Geneva, I'll pop this in for you, for those that haven't already got that. Lee, do I know when brake fans will be functional? I've no idea. Obviously, it's something that is planned. Was it you? Someone sent me an image on the new Discord server of a landing, an emergency landing that had their brake tyres at 1,000 degrees. I can't remember who that was, but that made me chuckle. Right, so we will be departing flaps 1, packs off, anti-ice, off runway is dry, takeoff weight is 61420 on runway 4. Sorry, is it runway 4? Runway 5. Runway 5. And calculate flex temp of 64. There we go. Yeah, so as HD says there, it's only the alternatives that Simbrief doesn't do well. Everything else is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, melted rubber at least, at the very, very minimum. James Sim, how do I work out the trim setting? If you go to my advanced McDew programming tutorial, there's a link on there to a handy little tool that you can use. Realistically, what you should be able to do is set them just using the center of gravity listed on the trim wheel. Sadly, in the simulator, that is currently missing. So yeah, you have to use a bit of an alternate method at the moment. Okay, so that's the performance, weight and balance all loaded and calculated. So let's go to our init page and pull these in. There we go. So just checking now, this all matches. Cost index of 8. Cruise temperature 340 minus 50. That's 4 degrees out. We can leave that. That's absolutely fine. Good, so flight plan. Before we can go any further with that, we need to contact air traffic control. So, anyone asking about the sounds? It's from self-loading cargo. Right, so here we go. Swiss Radar is the one that did us online. Just double checking that they are covering Switzerland tonight. I believe they are. So Swiss Radar is 128.050. 128 and 050. Brandon, we're on the latest stable version this evening. 128.050, and I'm just double checking that they are covering Swiss Radar.
Easy-25, contact line radar into 133.650, enjoy flight, bye-bye.
We'll give them a quick call. Swiss Radar, good evening. Easy 91 Whiskey Fox is with you on the ground at Geneva, requesting IFR clearance to Nantes, and we have information Quebec.
Easy 91 Whiskey Foxtrot Swiss Radar, hello, you got the wrong sector. Contact Swiss Radar into 134.325, enjoy flight, bye-bye.
134.325, thanks for your help. Easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Let's try again, shall we? Oh, fair enough. So there are two Swiss radars. This one that he's actually just given us the detail of. It's covering the western part, so that's the one we should have contacted. 13432.
13365, was nice. Danke dir auch, ciao. Lufthansa 676 Swiss Radar, hello, identified.
Okay, let's try the other Swiss radar then. Just double check that, 134.325. Okay, let's try again. Swiss Radar, good evening. Easy 91 Whiskey Fox on the ground at Geneva, requesting IFR clearances planned to Nantes. We have information Quebec and we are type A320 Neo.
Easy 91 Whiskey Fox, Swiss Radar, good evening. Runway 04 cleared to Nantes via Depool for Papa departure. Climb flight level 9R0, squawk 6767.
Cleared via the Dupal for Papa departure, initial climb flight level 9000 and squawk 6767, easy 91 Whiskey Fox.
91 Whiskey Fox, read back correct, report ready for startup.
We'll report ready, easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Okay, so they're changing the plan to the SID, but that's not a problem. 6767 is the squawk. Pop that in. Alright, let's get a look at the flight plan and get the right charts up there. So,
994 Delta, identify passing 5,500 feet, climb to flight level
2
240.
4 Papa
Climbing
departure.
flight level 240, Rhino 94 Delta.
E1598, wind 090 degrees 3 knots, runway 25, clear to land. Clear flight, clear to land, Easyjet 1 to main.
Okay, there it is. I've got the charts for that now. So the 444 Papa departure. Have I turned that one too far, HD? One sec. There we go. Right. So, taking off from runway 04. And it's the Dupa 4 Papa departure. There it is. Insert, and initial climb is to 9,000 feet. With that, we can pop in the arrival details as well. So we're estimating runway 03. We'll go the ILS Zulu, and it is the Lugan 1 Alpha arrival. There it is. And it will be via, let's have a look. Where's my charts for that? Open the charts list. Lugan 1 Alpha arrival. And it will be, it'll be via Lorac as planned. Beautiful. Insert that. Check the flight plan, and then we'll just go through on the plan screen and make sure that's all above board. Okay, so just bringing the SID up for, there we go, and having a look at this. So Dupal 4 Papa is basically, we take off and then it's almost an immediate turn. Well, we turn when passing 5,000, above 5,000 feet. That's the key thing here. So runway heading, once we get to above 5,000 feet, we make a left turn, but not before 2 miles to the Geneva VOR, which we'll also pop in a moment, 115.75. Okay, once we've done that, we're basically circling out to head west, and just looking at that doesn't look very good coding to me at all. So, after we have passed Dupal, what's happening here? So, there's the runway. We then go to pass, which is correct. Then, after pass, it should be Argis, that is correct. Then we pass Dupal, which is correct. And then after that, what we shouldn't do is go back to pass again. So let's clear that out of there and insert that. See how that works. if it starts to make a mess of things, we can just go down. Oh, there we go. That's actually cleared it up. There we are. Wow. Alright. And that is why we check the coding for the flight before we take off. And that all looks pretty standard there as we vector ourselves in for arrival in Nantes. Okay, so with that, I'm also going to get some weather as well. So go to the ATC menu, weather request. That little beep there tells me that the passengers are more or less boarded, which is nice. Peter, how do I pick the call sign? Sorry, I've not been concentrating on the chat. Any questions? I'm sure HD has helped me out there. So how do I pick my call signs? These are real world call signs, Peter, so I don't pick them, somebody in an office picks them. Name for the stream overlay is Fly Live Studio. Lee, live weather doesn't work for you today, oh dear. Okay, so we have got an operational flight plan, thanks HG, of 369 miles and a distance here of 341, so that's okay. Danny, isn't it a difficult departure? No, not really. Just make sure that you're obviously following the rules that you've got written on the SID. Basically, don't turn before 5,000 feet and not before 2 miles away from Geneva. So we're going to go into the RadNav page here, pop that in there. So that's 115.75, 115.75.
1598, welcome to Zion.
I could have typed it as well, just GVA, which is the code there, and that would have auto-populated as well. Thank you, fly-by-wire. And we can now pop that on here. So you can see there, we need to be above 2 miles DME before we make the left-hand turn.
Ryanair 94 Delta, contact with radar 128.050.
Okay, so presuming now we've actually got some weather information.
128.05, Ryanair 94 Delta, goodbye.
With radar, hello again, Chinook 76 Mike, Boeing 737-800, stand 6.
1007.
QNH 1007, for clearance to East Midlands.
Flight director was on.
Mike, this radar Logan, Quebec correct, runway 04, cleared East Midlands via
Ooh, there's another Jet 2 aircraft on his way to East Midlands.
Squawk 6765.
Clear to East Midlands, runway 04.
HD, make sure I turn left. Why? What would happen if I didn't?
Squawk 6765, Chinook 76 Mike.
It'd become a stain on the countryside.
76 Mike, we're back correct, report ready for startup.
Wilco 76 Mike.
Alright, so with that, let's see how we're getting on with our passengers here. Lock the doors.
Lufthansa 676 with radar, hello.
Okay, so self-loading cargo is just having a bit of a fit with the doors at the minute. I need you to get them closed and keep them closed.
This radar, Chinook 672.
Okay, let's get the beacon light on. We can also get rid of ground power.
Say again? Chinook 672 with you, 66 up.
So, to do that, let's just request the... oh, why am I requesting power supply? That's disappeared. Request jetway disconnection.
Uniform 21365, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
What jetway? Are we coming on the right-hand side of the aircraft? Which doors are open here? That doesn't happen very often, does it? Well, there we go. It seems to be... oh, look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Okay, self-loading cargo is now behaving, so that's good. Now we can request our push and start. Just check I'm using the right frequency again after talking to the simulator's ground. 134325, 134325, that is correct. Okay. Oh, just lost out to a call there. Never mind.
Lot 705, Swiss radar, good evening.
Swiss radar, Easy 91 Whiskey Foxtrot is ready for push and start.
91 Whiskey Foxtrot, start and pushback approved.
Push start approved, thank you. Easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Okay, normally it tells us to turn face northeast southwest. We'll presumably be facing south or west, southwest. Okay, parking brakes off and starting engine 1.
Station calling Swiss radar, you're on.
So obviously before we actually start the engines, things that need to be done, cockpit preparation checklist is completed, signs are already set or on auto, the ideas are aligned, fuel quantity we'd already set, we can just check it's balanced, but it should be, yeah. Flight manual guidance system is all set, and altimeters are set and cross-checked, which we've done. Oh, Mad Pilot, was that you? We were talking about that. We did mention that a little bit earlier at the start of the stream about the tyres melting. So, yes, did get that. Or was it on an email? You emailed it to me. That's fair enough. I did have a very good chuckle when I saw that. Starting engine 2. Parking brakes set.
Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this, and pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, make sure you put your own mask on first before helping others.
Okay, so let me just get, while the engines are finishing to spool up, I would imagine we're going to be a straight taxi down the outer taxiway, and looking to hold most likely at Golf. Yeah.
Terminal, guten Abend noch und schönes neues Easy 1598, thanks for your flight to Sierra. See you next time. Goodbye. Bye.
So engine 1 is spooling up. No, we haven't done. Flex temp to 1. Should we try that again? Flaps 1, and the transition altitude according to the ATC tonight is 8,000. And I'd already said earlier that the flex temp takeoff had been calculated to 64. This should have been done before we pushed back, so HD, you can get the ruler out. In fact, we've not even done the fuel calculations. What are we doing? We can pop these in quickly. Engine's still spooling up. Do you know what? We can't do the fuel calculations because I've started the engines. Oh, rookie mistake. What am I doing? Right. Do you know what we can do? I know what we'll do. We're currently sat in the middle of the taxiway, so Swiss radar, Easy 91 Whiskey Fox. We're going to need a couple of minutes. Are we okay to hold here, or do you need to move us?
Okay.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so I get too involved in the chat, HD, that's the problem. Alright, so turn those off. APU's still running, so we're good.
Geneva 76 Mike, startup approved.
Hopefully then. There we go. With those turned off, we can pop all that in. So, I do get a lot of people asking me. That is a very, very good point. We can use this use this as a lesson. Don't copy me. But no, seriously, I get lots of people. I get lots of people asking me if why they can't access the init B page, and it's usually because they've done exactly what I just did, which was forget about it until I was about to move. 4.1. So yeah, that's, you can't access it once the engines are running.
672, Roger, startup approved.
So there we go. That's all set.
Topswiss H3 Hotel Charlie, direct to coordinate.
Let's try again, shall we? So engine 1 starting. Again. And once we've got that started, actually, we can then set our trim position for takeoff, which will be down 2.5. So whilst we're sat here, we'll turn the taxi lights on as well. All the passengers in self-loading cargo are still very satisfied. Yeah, so anyone watching that, if you've not done your fuel initiation in its B page, and you've got your engine started, you won't be able to do that. Down 2.5, don't think so. I must admit, the sheet I've got is not for this particular aircraft. It's certainly not for a Neo, but then didn't think it used to be that far off. So we've got our C of G is at 40, was it? C of G is... Sorry, no, it's not. That's why it's not down 2.0. Down 0.3. That makes more sense, doesn't it? For some reason I put 40% in my calculator. It's not. It's 30.1, which is obviously down 0.3. Or you've got the more accurate version, so down 0.2. That sounds good enough to me. What we need to get is, I don't know if you can see, we've almost got it there actually, haven't we? Can I move my camera back? No. I'm trying to zoom in to see if we can actually see the centre of gravity, if they've been there. Can you see? Ah, there they are actually. So if you line up the centre of gravity to 30.1, would that be about right? Which is down, well, that's got it down as 0.5, so something's not quite right there. Yeah, the CG's there. That must have been added since previous updates. Engine 2 is starting up. That would have been fun, yanking it off the runway. Well, I did think that seems a little bit high. I've never had one like that before. Yes, so centre of gravity 30.1. That has got us as down 0.5. Are we lining it up with the arrow? That's how I presumed it was. Because if we set it 0.2, there we go, that's down 0.2. There's the C of G setting there. Oh well. Right, we can now actually make a move. Now everything's set off and set up correctly. Alright, so let's tidy this up. Engine mode selector is off. Taxi lights are on. APU bleed is off. And APU is off. Okay. Swiss control easy 91 Whiskey Foxtrot is now ready for taxi. I bet he's glad about that.
C91 Whiskey Foxtrot, taxi holding point runway 04 via outer.
Taxi via outer and I hold short runway 04, easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Straightforward taxi down the taxiway here. Parking brake is off. Yeah, HD, I don't think they are.
Tronic 76 Mike, ready for taxi.
Tronic 76 Mike, taxi holding point runway 04 via link 4 and outer.
Link 4 outer to holding point runway 04, Tronic 76 Mike.
And ready for taxi, Tronic 672. Tronic 672 behind company on your right hand side, taxi holding point runway 04 via link 4 and outer. Company link 4 and 24 for the outer, Tronic 672.
Okay, so flaps 1, spoilers armed, ding the cabin, so just before we line up with the runway we will do a flight control check. Briefing we've already talked about what we're doing after departure. Flaps set, FMA and takeoff data is confirmed. HD, you can read it back. Transponder is set. ECAM memo will be all blue in a moment once we've done our TO config, and the electronic flight bag is non-existent yet. So the cabin is now secured for takeoff, engine mode selector as required, and then...
C91 Whiskey Foxtrot, wind 030 degrees 10 knots, runway 04, clear takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 04, easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Okay, so I am just going to stop here just to get a few things ready. This is where I need a co-pilot.
Top Swiss 83 Hotel Charlie, descent flight level 180.
TCAS,
Descent flight level
TARA,
180, Easy Hotel.
transponder, flight control check, very quick flight control check. TO config, and set our lights. Okay, can't actually remember if I've told our self-loading cargo crew to cease for takeoff. No, we haven't. There we are. We have now.
Cabin crew seat for takeoff, please.
Lufthansa 676 for yourself.
That looks like fun weather on the weather radar, doesn't it? East Lee, thank you very much for your support. I wish I could somehow conjure up some coffee for you. Just coffee? Were you out celebrating a bit too much last night? Of course you weren't, you were in lockdown. Hope everyone did have a good New Year, whatever they were doing. Okay guys, let's confirm.
705 radar.
Everything's set. Packs off for takeoff. Start the chrono and I just want to turn the weather radar down a little bit because that was bright. Okay, let's go. Man, flex, SRS, runway. Oh, that's annoying when a screen pops up.
Geneva 76 Mike, line up runway 04.
Line up 04, Geneva 76
V1,
Mike.
rotate.
Positive right, gear up.
So I'm ignoring the flight director there in terms of its lateral guidance. So we want to be at least 5,000 feet and more than 2 miles from the VOR. So we may as well zoom in down here. There's no point looking outside, is there? Climb thrust. So as you can see, we're obviously going to pass 5,000 past 5,000 feet, which is no problem. But we need to be more than 2 miles away from the VOR before making that left turn. The flight radar is having a bit of a moment, but that's okay.
Geneva 76 Mike, wind 30 degrees 10 knots, runway 04, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Geneva 76 Mike.
So in a moment we'll make that left turn after we pass 2 miles.
Sequence Geneva 7672. Geneva 672, line up runway 04 and wait.
Okay, so starting that left turn.
04, Geneva 672. Median 91 Whiskey Foxtrot identified passing 6,200 feet, climb to flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, easy, 91 Whiskey Fox. Got an ice warning as well, just there. We'll pop it on in a minute. Flight radar seems to be behaving a bit better now. Still quite slow in the turn, however, that's not a bad thing at the moment because we're obviously climbing sharply. Get out of the way of the terrain that's around us. Okay, and now with that, what we can do, the reason it's having us down there is because it still thinks I want to go to 9,000 feet. I don't. With that, let's engage the autopilot. So, flaps now up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We've got severe ice detected. I've not seen that before.
local time is 21:44. Unfortunately, the temperature is currently a very cold 0 degrees Celsius, or 32.
Self-loading cargo thinks we've arrived already. Of course we have not.
You might want to put it on before exiting the aircraft.
10,000 feet, we can turn the lights off.
Arrives at the gate. You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal. Thank you for
Geneva 672, wind 020 degrees 9 knots, runway 04, cleared for takeoff. Takeoff 04, Geneva 672. Geneva 76 Mike, identified passing
right,
6,000
so-
feet, climb flight level 240.
All is okay there.
Climb flight level 240, Geneva 76 Mike.
Was that PAX on the ECAM? I don't know, to be honest, HD. I wasn't monitoring that. If you can rewind, you'll probably see and have a look. Magic Gnome, the reason the flight director was off to the side on that particular departure was because it needed me to make a half...
901 Whiskey Fox,
1 second.
climb to flight level 240.
Flight level 240 for Easy 91 Whiskey Fox. Yeah, it's because basically it wanted me to make a turn to the left or right. I can't remember which way it wanted me to do it. But because we got the charts, we knew we couldn't actually make that 180-degree turn till we passed 5,000 feet, and we're more than 2 miles away from the Geneva VOR for the terrain reasons. So it did want me to make the turn. I just didn't. I couldn't make the turn until we were at a particular place. So that's the reason why. I hope that answers that question. It's usually wanting you to. It's always showing you what you need to do to reach your next waypoint.
Swiss radar, good day, Easy 1003, landing flight level 350.
Easy 1003, Swiss radar, Swach, report passing level.
Can you repeat, please?
Report your passing level, your current level you've just now.
Now at flight level 340.
Okay, so
1003 identified.
in theory,
to flight level 350.
this should be
direct to
this should now be a straightforward part of the flight. Still in clouds, it seems. We can't see anything outside the windows.
Geneva 672 identified.
So HD, there was an ECAM lower down, or below the NEIs. There wasn't just a master caution bin. I don't know. I'd have to have a look at the replay, see what it said. I saw the ice warning, and then I saw a severe ice warning, which I'd not seen before. So that's a new one. Okay, so now climbing up towards 240. Our cruise altitude today is set to be at 340, and I don't believe we've actually got any ATC to the west of us unless they've come online. Just have a quick look. Paris control is on. However, I think they're actually a bit too far north for where we're going.
X-ray, radar, good evening, identified.
And for anybody watching, HD is absolutely right when it says...
9 Whiskey Foxtrot, Visimo navigation, Unicom on 122.8. Goodbye.
Over to Unicom now, 122.8. Happy New Year, bye-bye, easy, now on Whiskey Fox. So... Yeah, HD is right when it says there's a lot to do for a single pilot. It's only when you try to do everything by the book that you realise there's just so much to do. There's two people sat up front for a very, very good reason.
Flight level 320, Channel 7.
Not just in case one of them eats the fish. Right, so what I can do now is enjoy the flight a little bit and set our climb to 340, and I can come in and join you guys on the chat a little bit. There we go. So Patrick, other question, does the A320 Neo, presume that's meant to be, have an auto land option? The real one does. The simulator one, it doesn't work, not yet anyway. It will do, but not just yet. Peter, that severe ice warning is part of the Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 update. Do you mean on the ECAM or just in the simulator itself? East Coast Lee, if you check that out, it was an engine mode selector message and severe ice. Engine mode selector is normal. So, making sure that we've obviously got that set. Unless, because of the severe ice, it wants us to go to ignition mode. Hobby Sim, the overlay is from Fly Live Studios. Fly Live Studios. And as I often say, I can't see that in the simulator. You can only see that on the stream. Okay, so that's the electronic devices off. And I think think we should be good to release the cabin now. All the weather radar, weather you can see on the radar there is below us, and that's just a simulated thing. We can't actually point the radar to project straight ahead of us. At the moment it's almost set at a lower altitude. There we go. HD, so thank you for confirming that. If it's severe ice, it would prompt you to go to ignition mode. Mark, best monitor for the RTX 3070. Not too expensive, please. I'm the last guy to help you. I just fly the aircraft. There may be people on here though that will be able to give you better answers than me. Okay, so that's looking good. We can release the cabin, turn the seatbelt signs off. We're also above the clouds now. Let's get the anti-ice off now. That's away from us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve a selection of alcoholic drinks including wine and locally sourced ales. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign so you are free to move about the cabin. However, please note that
Deborah Lawrence, hello, thanks for joining. So we're flying from Geneva, just left, and we're headed towards Nantes on the west coast of France, northwest of France. Mad Pilot had a problem with the NDB. He was flashing on the FMC with no DME. He wanted the Innsbruck approach each, and the NDB arrow was flashing and no DME, although the right frequency. HD, just confirm NDBs don't often have DMEs. Although I thought the one at Innsbruck did. Is it definitely an NDB and not a VOR? I can't recall offhand. Oh, there you go. HD just confirmed that for me as well. I love it when HD's here. Either to confirm what I'm saying is true or to slap me around the head with the ruler. Is the cabin mod payware? Do you mean the sounds from self-loading cargo? Yes, it is, but it's not very expensive. Not expensive at all. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's about £13, so not expensive at all. Gordon, you're on your 4th NEO flight today. Helsinki, Zurich, Berlin, Zurich, Basel, Zurich, Geneva, Nantes. Busy day. Are you doing Geneva, Nantes? Oh, whereabouts are you? And are you on VATSIM? I've done the Innsbruck using the RNAV, which is, as you say, much more common now. Peter James HD is a real Airbus 320 pilot. So, yeah, he tells me when I'm wrong and backs me up when I'm right. Alright, so what I'm going to do now while we're in the cruise, let's start having a look at our approach to Nantes. So, grab the charts for that. So Simbrief has got our flight plan as runway 3. Let me see what the latest weather in Nantes was showing as we set off. So messages received, look at the METAR. So 360 at 3, so very light winds, that's good. -2 and 1013, so we'll just make a quick note of those. In fact, we'll probably get a more up-to-date weather just before Toga simulations. Probably, I'm sorry if I missed your comment, please do type it again. Alright, so we are going to bring up the charts here for runway 3. This will be great when it's integrated here into the in the flypad on here, because I'll be able to look at it. You guys will be able to see what I'm looking at as well. And that's our cruise level that's just been hit, as notified by the spooling down of the engines, so that's good. Oh, Jacko, did I use it in the tutorial for the circle to land approach runway 08? Oh, so it did work then. That's good to know. So, taxi approach, let's have a look. So, it will be, we're doing the ILS approach approach to runway 03, and I was reading one of the briefs for this airfield, and one of them made me laugh out loud. Let me just see if I can find it. Because I thought it summed up Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 absolutely brilliantly. Was it Geneva Airport? Just double check. No, most of the things about Geneva Airport is about how the winds can change over so much due to the high terrain and things like that. But where is what I read about? There was one of the runways. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So at Nantes, are you ready for this? At Nantes, ground operations. The apron is very small. Reports received of vehicles not giving priority to aircraft. Where have we seen that before? So maybe Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 is entirely accurate in the way it in the way that it depicts the ground traffic not giving way to aircraft. It's actually in the notes. Right, so let me just quick catch up with the chat, and then we'll start briefing the approach. Eastbound Lee, can you take the seatbelts out? Oh yeah, the seatbelts are off. Off you go. Go and badger the stewardesses for a cup of tea. Bastion, issue from flyby wire 0.5.1 on taxi. I turned off the APU as always, and then wanted to take off, only to recognise that apparently engine 1 turned off at the same time. Ooh. Alright. Was that the stable version? I've not had that happen before. So then you managed to start engine 1 again after pressing the APU master and APU bleed. It did not work without that. No, it wouldn't. I think there is a way actually to start the engines using engine 2 if it was already going. I don't think that's simulated though. HD will confirm that. I thought the issue was one from the past that hit me today. Is it still a known issue? Certainly not a known issue for me. So no idea. So Pete, you're with us holding a stern. Excellent. Where SimBrief doesn't provide the trip wind, will it calculate automatically in the window? No, it doesn't. You have to pop that in. Standard French baggage handlers. Peter James, can you ask if you start engine 2 before starting engine 1 in the real world? No, engine 1 in the Neos, engine 2 I believe for the older CFM engines, older A320s. So the Neo is number 1 first. And Garo, hello, where am I flying right now? We're over France. Let's see if we can just bring up the VFR map for you to see. So we've just left Geneva, which is off back there to the right hand side, to the east, and we're flying up to, nice short route this evening, up to Nantes. Patrick, hello, thanks for joining. Okay, so let's brief this approach. So we've obviously got a standard star. Will be coming in via waypoint Lugan to Tirav and then to Laroc. At Laroc we want to be below 1500 feet. No, we don't. 15,000 feet. HD was always 1 on the CEO engines. Ah, fair enough. I think I was reading a discussion in an A320 pilots group, and this was a topic which everyone said something different, so in the end I wasn't sure which way to go. But I've always gone with engine 1 first. Okay, and then on the approach from Laroc to runway 03. From Laroc we're descending to 5,000 feet by about 70 miles from the Nantes VOR, which we're going to pop in there now as well. So the Nantes VOR is NTS, November Tango Sierra. That's interesting. It's not populated the the identifier code, NTS, but it has popped in 115.5, which is correct. How strange. Okay, so if we just have a look at the way the flight plan has been set up. So, according to the charts, if you've not got the charts, we leave the initial approach fix called Laroc, and we want to be ideally at about 7,000 feet. We then want to be at 5,000 feet about 10 miles later. After that, we fly left and to intercept the ILS for runway 03. And we want to intercept it at 3,000 feet. So, has that all been populated into here? Let's find out. So, there is the waypoint Laroc, where it says we need to be below 1,500 feet, 15,000 feet, and then it's basically a USR, which in the flight simulator world, oh actually no, that is right. That actually looks like it's all been coded in correctly. So that's great. Wonderful. All we need to do is make sure that our altitudes are correct, because they're not strictly followed. So that's fine. So with that then, if we want to be aiming to be below 15,000 feet by Laroc, we can actually go a little bit lower than that, because it's not that far away. We're only 28 miles away from Laroc. Sorry, from Nantes when we hit Laroc. So 7,000 feet will be a good altitude to make sure we're in. So that means we need to start our descent, which won't be too far away actually. It's only a short journey this. We want to start our descent when we are about 91 miles from Laroc. So if I just go back to the arc here, and if I zoom right in, we can see we're probably coming up to about 160 miles away from Laroc, so we've got a little bit of time to sit and chill. So how was everybody's New Year's? Did we all stay home? There's a question. Did we all stay home? There was nowhere else to go. And who watched Alicia Keys on BBC One? Or were you all watching the Buddy Holly show? That's if it's, of course, if you're here in the UK with me. Just going to grab the latest weather, then we can start to populate the approach page. Wait for that to come through. HD, I thought exactly the same. Why had she got mirrors on her suit? Glad to know it wasn't just me that was watching that. And I'm sure I read somewhere as well that they weren't going to have any fireworks this year in London, because they didn't want to draw a crowd. So I completely had egg on my face when I said to the wife when we were watching it, like, well, I don't know what they're going to do here, but there's no big firework display or anything like that. And then lo and behold, London exploded with these wonderful fireworks. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know which newspaper I read that in. I could hazard a guess. Garrow, you were sleeping when the new year started. Fair enough. Lecord, are you using the stable or dev version? This is the stable version at the moment. There's our company message, so that's the weather that's come in. Let's have a look and see what we can expect. So, messages received. Let's have a look at the latest meta, which probably hasn't changed too much. Okay, so 360 at 6. As the wind, ceiling and visibility is okay. Temperature is -2. And QNH 1013. That's fine. Timo, that I'd seen a lot of people say that fireworks have been forbidden this year, but of course in England we don't do anything sensible, do we? Peter, I watched Alicia Keys, had a quiet New Year. There was a crowd at London. I think we're going into Tier 5 shortly. What's Tier 5? The only problems with these tiers is no one actually listens to them, or that's how it seems around where I live. We're currently in Tier 3 still, one of the few areas still in Tier 3. And you may as well be in Tier 1. Because it's not making a blind bit of difference to what people do. It'll be Tier 23 by the end of January. Gordon, someone managed to blow his head off with fireworks, I've read. Bad start to the new year. Oh, well, that's Darwinism for you. Right, what was I doing? Approach page. There we go. Getting sidetracked. Alright, so QNH is 1013. Temperature -2. And the wind 360 at 6. The transition altitude is it's not just UHD. I use it all the time. Sadly, I don't think his theory is working fast enough in some cases. 5,000 feet for the transition altitude. And the MDA is 273. So that's fine. Actually, what was the visibility? No one flagged that up, so I'm presuming that was fine. Visibility... Oh, ceiling visibility, okay. Yeah, that's good. Absolutely fine then. Oh, there we go. Now we've got the Nantes VOR on there. 176 miles away from our destination. Manchester's Tier 4, is it? Fair enough. Oh no, it's disappeared from your charts, HD. That's no good. Time for an update. Oh, Lee, spot on. Evolution is a slow process, unless you're working for the fly-by-wire team. Magic Norm here in Montreal. French-speaking people watch the... Fair enough. Okay, so we're about 130 miles away from the Lugan VOR, not VOR, sorry, Lorick waypoint, so that's where we're going. It's alright, my chart was stuck and I was still loading. Gatto, I'm currently flying on VATSIM, so if you're on VATSIM you can go and sit at the Go and sit at the threshold of Nantes, wait for us. Please don't get in the way though. 5 minutes to update, that's alright, isn't it? Yeah, I can imagine not using the work iPad that much at the moment. So Gordon, if you're doing this with me, you've got Luden, Tirav, Larok, and then USR. Yeah, so you're basically flying the almost a manual approach, which is programmed correctly. But the line looks good, so just let it do its thing, or some directs. No, it should be able to do its thing. Always remember, however, though, Flight Sim 2020 has this issue of sometimes, particularly if you've got the USR point, of it wanting to just go directly to the threshold of the runway. If that happens, pull your heading bug just to get your aircraft flying straight in level gale, and then go direct. Marcus, what model matching mind were you using for VATSIM? Absolutely none. I haven't downloaded and filled my community folder with gigabytes upon gigabytes of liveries. I'd rather have the frame rates, to be fair. HD is a great tea coaster. I hope it comes with some sort of nice casing on it. Ruzko, I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's my country. Ah, is it your village, your city? Heading knob to the rescue. There's a sentence I never thought I'd read out loud. So, pretty uneventful in the cruise. Sadly, we've not got any ATC online, but hey-ho. So, Gordon, if you're with us on VATSIM, my friend, whereabouts are you? I can't see any other aircraft around us at the moment. There's that engine caked in ice. That'll be there for the duration of the flight now, unfortunately. Was anyone with me when we flew to Mauritius for one of the long-haul Friday flights? I think we actually landed with ice on us there. Unbelievable. Oh, you're not far off Paris. Oh, you're not going to see us fly over today. Oh, Gordon, you're not on VATSIM. That's fair enough and understandable. Clouds are clearing, so we should have a nice view of our approach this evening, which is good. Cabrera, the airport folders go in on the community folder as well. Yes, they do. And I think this is a stroke of genius by Microsoft and Azobo. Well, you'll all remember, if you're not new to flight simming, FSX, X-Plane, anything like that. When you had a add-on, as they were called, they weren't called mods then, they were just called add-ons. When you had those, then you had to install everything, and it put loads of stuff in lots of other folders, and if you uninstalled it, it left lots of junk there. Well, now, how easy is this? You just put any brand new add-ons into the community folder, and the simulator reads them. Now, to me, who's computer illiterate, that is wizardry. That is absolute wizardry. Because now I do this all the time. So there was a little update for the Geneva airport that I could have downloaded and literally just popped in for this flight. And I've got a folder on my desktop which is flight sim add-ons, flight sim mods, and I just literally put in and out the one I want to use. And I know you can also download another program that does that for you if you want to, and sort of turns off items in your community folder on and off. But I've said before, I just don't like adding program upon program onto my PC. I want to keep it clean. So, but yeah, I think the community folder thing is absolutely brilliant. Lazarus, hello, Happy New Year. I want to ask, can you refer me to the link for the shared cockpit project for the A320NX? It was mentioned in one of the dev blogs, but I can't find it. I'm not sure if it's actually part of the fly-by-wire team. It's a different... it's from somewhere else. I can't remember where it is. But I know the fly-by-wire team have been testing it with some degree of success. Not perfect, absolutely not perfect. And Guardian is very right. Keep an eye on the size of the comms folder, as it can get out of hand and you get errors caused by outdated mods and sceneries. I know that there is one mod for, I want to say, the Cessna Longitude. I could be wrong. But that really interferes with the fly-by-wire autopilot and aircraft. So that messes it up entirely, which then you've got people saying the fly-by-wire one doesn't work, it's terrible, blah blah blah, and then actually it's because you've got something else in your community folder that's interfering with it. So they do mess around a little bit. HD, isn't it time for descent? I don't know, is it? Where are we? We want to start the descent about 91 miles away, and oh yeah, we're getting there, aren't we? I'm just looking at those track miles. It's not a straight line, is it? We're probably let's have a look. So that's there's Lugan on the navigation display. So 80 miles. Then after Lugan we've got Tirav, and then at Larok we want to be at 7,000 feet. So probably not too far off HD. Hello from India. Hope you've had a great new year. Thank you for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, flight anchors like to also be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the captain will start preparing the aircraft for our arrival, so you can make sure the arms can there are any baggage. The seatbelt signs will also shortly be going on, so if you do need to use the toilets, please do so now. For your safety. Thank you very much for your cooperation, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Okay, so started the descent down to 7,000 feet, descending 1,700 feet per minute. Rolled the speed back as well. Peter McDo now counts down your mileage. It does. What it doesn't do yet is what would be fantastic is if on where's it gone? On this page here, you can actually type in your the waypoint that you so require, and it'll give you your mileage to it. However, on the flight plan page at the bottom, you've only got your total cumulative mileage to the destination, which you can see is 130 miles. It doesn't count down yet so I know we want to be at Larak. That's where we're aiming for, so you have to sort of like a manual calculation. 44 66 72 is that, but you can see what I'm getting at. HD, should we have a look? Go on then, should we try open descent, see what happens? That's raising us up a little bit. I would imagine that's because it's trying to target the speed that I've set. So yeah, there we go. Look, if I raise that to where the speed tape says 270 knots, because as you know we can't actually select knots at the minute. And now we're dropping it about yeah, okay, do you know what? I'm going to sort that myself if you don't mind. Otherwise, we're going to be cruising along at 7,000 feet for a long time. So I think what would happen there is once it's reached its target speed, which isn't accurate at the minute because I can't switch back to knots. We're in Mach units, and the problem is, you know, in Mach units, the lower we get, the speed changes. The speed gets higher and higher. How do I get the cabin announcements? That is from self-loading cargo. Marco, anyone experiencing issues with the rudder when the plane is moving on the ground? Aircraft is uncontrollable. I've not seen that. HD seems to be working well. I did, but I think, as I just explained, it's targeting the speed. Once it hits the speed, it will sort of drop us like a stone. And because I can't, what I will do, I will go back into open descent once I can get this back to Mach, to the speed and knots, and see how well it handles it there. Because you can hear the engine spooling up now, and that's because obviously we're getting lower, so our target speed is increasing. Do I ever try other airliners in the sim? I prefer the A320NX, but sometimes choose the 747. I haven't, to be honest with you. Apart from a Cessna, and it's been a long time since I flew one of those in real life. Yeah, so the outer tank fuel is currently flashing. It shouldn't be flashing, it should just come on and stay on, and that just means that we've probably got, or we should have less than 750 kilogram on the inner tanks. If we go to that, yeah, so you can see it's 740, so that should open up and remain on, which just reminded me about the crossfeed button there, and that's, someone was talking about that on the Discord channel. Just checking that hadn't come on automatically. I didn't think it did, but that was a great opportunity to check that. This is a stable version, Chris. It's still the stable version, it's not the dev version. Probably get the latest dev version next week, and also got a few things I'd like to test as well. Okay, so as we're going down to 7,000 feet, we can now set local pressure 1013. Minimums are set. Engine mode selector as required. We're not expecting any ice. Ceiling and visibility was okay. Autopilot tries to get back to course with a 45-degree bank, drop increase altitude like... ooh, did I miss something? Fuel X speed should never come on automatically. No, I know it shouldn't, HD. It was something that a picture someone had sent me on Discord. I don't know if they'd clicked it by mistake or it's a sim issue. It's not one I've ever had before. But they were saying that for some reason the outer tanks were filling up rather than the inner tanks, and it confused me greatly. But at least now I can go back and confirm that that most certainly shouldn't have happened by the sim doing it. I think what they were trying to tell me is because the outer tank fuel crossfeed thing, ECAM warning had come on. I don't know if they'd seen that and thought, I need to go and switch that on, and obviously you don't, it's all done automatically. Almin, if you're talking about the upper indication in terms of what you can see at the top of the screen, that is for a banner from Fly Live Studios, just telling you where we've taken off from, where we're heading to, our current call sign, how far we are away. Also gives us things like ground speed, heading, etc, etc. Simflyer rather, UK, Happy New Year to you. Mustafa, Happy New Year to you as well. It's glad to be back. Nice to get on for a quick evening stream. So on Monday, and I've discussed this previously, I will probably discuss this on the Discord channel as well, see what people want to do. Incidentally, if anyone wants to join our new Discord channel for this YouTube channel, where you can come on and chat with me and everybody else, then I'll pop the link, an invite link into that. So if you want to join the Discord, new Discord channel, that link is just there for you. But yeah, something I want to discuss. I'm thinking, because as I've said previously, our long distance Fridays are going to have to be a thing of the past, I'm afraid, as I will no longer be in the office on a Fridays. So it's going to have to be Monday, Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I'm thinking long distance Mondays, just because what a great reason to get out of bed on a Monday. So let me know what you guys think, either on here or on the Discord. SimBuild UK, you're here as well. We've got SimFly UK and SimBuild UK. Captain Wright as well. Hello all. So SimFly UK, I want to just start using VATSIM and I'm both hooked and still nervous. Oh, there's times even I get nervous. Usually when they say, can you do a hold? And I go, yeah, but please don't make it for too long, because at the moment the aircraft doesn't do it itself. Chris, it's your birthday on Monday, so you can do a flight alongside of me. If we went for long distance Mondays, could you do that one with us? Get on the Discord and drop me a message. Mark, what can we tell you about VATSIM? What does it have to offer? VATSIM is basically real air traffic controllers watching their radar screens, controlling traffic using every other simulator. So things like X-Plane, FSX, 3PD, FlightSim 2020. So anybody that's flying on any of those simulators logged into VATSIM will appear in your simulator, and you've got live air traffic controllers controlling you. It basically makes it as real as it can get, to be honest. And I'd never do proper flying without it. Obviously we do community flights and we do not go on VATSIM because we just have a jolly good time there. Also, community flights have been discussed on the Discord channel as well, so get yourself involved. SimFly UK, you're figuring out how to do a hold. A lot of them are actually given in the charts, and it's basically intersecting them at the right course angle and then flying them. Beers, Gavin. Mark, was that meant to be a B or was it cheers? Are you buying me a beer? I wouldn't say no. We let the kids stay up late last night. What would have been New Year's? They were up till about 10 PM, and oh my word, we're suffering for that today. Not doing that again. Chris, you're on the Discord and you're at work till 10 AM though. Oh, that's fine. We don't know what you could just follow a couple of miles behind, a few miles behind us, couldn't you? And normally if I'm doing a long distance flight, I try and get started about 10 AM just because it's usually a good 6 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, we are beginning our descent into our destination. We're not expecting any air traffic control delays, so we should have you on the ground shortly. If you could now please assist the cabin crew by tightening your tray tables and having them anywhere as they go around. Much appreciated, and make sure to fasten your seatbelts. For safety reasons, please turn off any electronic devices you have, or switch your airplane mobile mode. Please note the aircraft toilets will also shortly go out of use. Thank you, and we'll see you on the ground shortly.
SimFly UK, you were in bed by 9 PM. HD, you should call it Marathon Monday. I like that. Marathon Mondays. I don't know why we call it Long Haul Fridays. I think it was just an absolute description of what it was we were doing. We were doing long hauls and it was a Friday. Marathon Mondays, I like that though. Chris, a nice scenery landing would be great. Well, you know, I'm always open to route suggestions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen,
So,
Captain has turned on the seat
once
belt
we've got a route sorted for Monday, then
as soon as possible.
I'll get that in the Discord chat, so you guys can prep if that's what we're going to do. I saw that A320 pilot did a first long haul today, London to the Maldives, but yeah, it was in X-Plane because he was in an A350, which I would love to get. I think I'd like the A350 rather than the A380. The A380 is obviously a great aircraft, but I think just if you can get a fully working A350, that'd be a dream to fly in FlightSim 2020, wouldn't it? Peter James, the pushback helper. If you go to, hang on, let me pop it in. FlightSim.to. Go to there and just type in pushback and search for it. You'll find it, mate. It's literally called Pushback Helper. HD, what's that? The runway's quite bumpy at Nantes. It's worse the other end, but be aware of it. Oh, fair enough. because they are simulated now in 2020. Even the bump at Manchester is simulated, which is nice. Costas, Happy New Year from Greece. Happy New Year to you. Patrick, maybe try St. Martin. A great landing over the beach, no ILS though. Oh, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is trying to take an A320 from Europe to St. Martin. I've only got about 6 hours. Flight time, that is. Okay, so we're getting to the serious end of the flight now, aren't we? 10,000 feet we're about to pass. Seatbelt signs are on. And all the approach is programmed in and looks good. It should be in the brief HD, thank you. Chris, have I got the Manchester mod from Michael? Yes, I do. Fantastic little airport, and of course getting better all the time as they update it. Yep, Happy New Year from the Airbuzzers team. Again, if you're not on the Discord, you won't understand that. Get yourself on the Discord channel. It's great to have you all chatting away on there, and of course I'm there as well for what that's worth. That did make me laugh yesterday, some of the photos I saw in that, yeah. That was brilliant. HD, I definitely need to buy a PC if Concorde is coming. Start saving now. Mr. Balio77, hello. Boomer Richard, thank you very much and Happy New Year to you. Okay, so we can slow this rate of descent down. And of course, passing 10,000 feet, there's no air traffic control online, but we will stop, we will pull our speed back to 250 knots. Mr. Bio77, was that you first in the Discord? That was scarily quick, how fast people added themselves to that. Simflyer UK, thank you, you're very kind. Okay, so if you are just joining for the approach, here's the quick briefing. It's actually a nice approach that's already been set up for us. All's working well. The programming and coding of the approach is coded in nicely into FlightSim 2020. So we're making this left-hand turn now. As you can see, then we will fly straight, and we want to be descending to 5,000 feet by about 17 miles away from the Nantes VOR. You can see that at the bottom. We're currently just past 35 miles from the Nantes VOR. So 5,000 feet there, making a left-hand turn to be at 3,000 feet to intercept the ILS. So it's actually 5,000 feet or below. So we can start that now. Captain Shark 21, thank you very much for your donation to the stream. Happy New Year to you, and really glad that the streams are helping you. Thank you very much for that. Get yourself on the Discord server if you're not already, Captain Shark. It would be great to chat with you more on there. I'll pop a link for that as well again at the end of the flight, in case anyone's missed that. Ari Harrison, how do you set up FlightSim 2020 where you have to fully set the Airbus up yourself, like being able to use all the buttons? What you need to do is make sure you get yourself the fly-by-wire mod. Just a quick Google search now will be fine, and get you finding the fly-by-wire page. Download the stable version of their mod, and that'll be and then you'll be where to go. Everything will work. HD, what we're descending at the moment, 700, so we can lift that slightly, as you say. This is where, when VNAV comes in, it will be very, very useful. Jacko, do you always manually manage the VS altitude and speed? As soon as I pass the decel point, we enter the approach phase of the flight, then speed will go on to auto, manage mode. But at the moment, yes, for everything else, usually I set the vertical speed just because it's not yet all simulated correctly.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for landing.
I had the opportunity to use Sync Toolkit Pro yet. I used it for FSX, but again, I just found it didn't really add to what I needed. I've got my charts and everything else. SimBrief does the flight plan for me, and I just don't use it really. I didn't see what it gave me that I didn't have elsewhere. Josh Rogers, when using FlightLab Studio, how do you get your ETA to show up? That's just done automatically when you put in your when you pop in your departure airport and your arrival airport. Okay, so are we in the approach phase of the flight automatically? Yes, we are. So now what I can do is start to slow us down by entering manage mode for the speed.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Engines are spooling back nicely now.
please make sure you are
Fox
seated
1, hello.
fastened.
Hell. Hi. Pick one.
Any items should be
Okay, so we're going to left turn in a minute, followed by a right turn, which would bring us into the ILS quite nicely. And we want to be at 3,000 feet for the intercept. Can't see any signs of the runway or the airport yet, which is about 15 miles ahead. Turn on the landing system. So we can see there the glide slope and localizer. Just be aware now for the aircraft doing anything silly in Flight Sim 2020, like going direct to the runway threshold, so we will be aware of that. So we should have a left turn coming up in a moment. And we can go flaps 1. Seth, hello, thank you for joining. There's our left turn that we were expecting, and now we can start that descent down to 3,000 feet. So as HD says there, the minimum safe altitude is 2,000 feet, nice low level. And we've still got ice, of course we have. Josh, make sure you've selected call sign as well and press the, is there a tick button in the top right of that little box where you put in your departure information in? Something like that. I'm talking from memory there. Lucas Z, yes there is. Top left of the McDo, there's a DIR button. Select that, it'll then give you the list of waypoints in order, and you just select the one. DIR just means direct, so you're pressing that and going direct. Select the waypoint you wish to go to. So about 14 miles away from the runway threshold. Right hand turn in a moment, and then we can activate the approach mode. HD, I think that's a little bit hit and miss in the simulator at the moment. It obviously, in the real aircraft, as you say, it deletes a lot, but I think it's sort of, I'm not even sure what it does. It sometimes deletes them, sometimes doesn't, sometimes sends you in a circle. It isn't yet foolproof. Okay, landing lights on. We're at the platform altitude now of 3,000 feet. So we've armed the approach, glide slope blue, localizer blue, they're standing by. Balio 77, it could be. The winds aren't very strong, so there's not really any excuse there. Okay, localizer capturing flaps 2 as we're about to intercept the glide slope as well. Wonder if this airport has lights at night. Seth, your smoothest landing ever was 35 FPM. Was that in a Cessna? I'm not so sure that's classed as a good landing. Localizer alive. Ronald, Happy New Year to you as well. Thanks for joining us. Doesn't matter if you're late.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
Okay. Is anyone else concerned that, unless we've got a blanket layer of cloud, I can't actually see a runway yet? Flashing lights of any kind. Are we just going to trust the ILS? This could be interesting. Okay, so glide slope captured. Let's start prepping for a go around, which what are we going around? Where's the airport? Missing scenery? I hope not. All the electronic indications are there. 5 miles away. Gear down. Flaps 3. We're going to see what happens, guys. Where is the runway? Where's the airport? Oh, it's showing a little bit of mist. Now, interestingly enough, the dew point was quite close to the temperature, so so Gordon, have you just flown it? Is there some fog there? Oh, hang on. I see runway lights. We're good. We're good. La Rochelle is closed. You were waiting for that, HD, weren't you? Okay, flaps full, spoilers armed, cabin ready. We don't need to go around. We've got a visual on the runway.
Cabin crew seats for landing, please. 1,000.
I think you just forget how eerily realistic this simulator is. Wow. Decision height, Jap, is 273, so we're good. We're good. Okay, so the terminal will be on the right hand side once we land. That's fine. Do you know what? With that fog, I want to take off the runway lights. Okay, so we've got runway lights. We're happy to continue. Continue. Oh, it's nice having a bit of drama in your landing, isn't it? Pete, it's well lit. It's well lit. That's great to know. You know, I always get nervous after in feeder. We're now getting an ice warning. I don't think that matters now, does it?
The local time is 22:46.
Okay, so vacating right onto taxiway Charlie.
Or 32 Fahrenheit, so if you have a jacket or coat.
Airport elevation threshold is 73 feet.
Please remain seated until the aircraft arrives at the gate.
Stand 5, 6 or 7. HD, I'm guessing your iPad's just updated.
Thank you for flying with Easyjet.
Okay, so let's tidy the aircraft up. TCAS off, weather radar off, APU start. Landing lights are off, runway turn-off lights are off, taxi lights, we're leaving those on, strobes off, and where's my ground chart? Where did we say HD? 5, 6 or 7? Oh, right in the corner. Okay. Announcements for the cabin. Goju 5 come from no, they don't. They come from self-loading cargo. Cabrera, I hate that from Flight Sim that there's no lights at some airports. Oh, no one hated it more than me the other week, trust me. We nearly landed on the highway. So I think they actually wanted us to park there. HD, we got people waiting for us. Thank you, HD. Flaps are up, and we're taxiing now into the corner. So I'm heading for the jetway that you can just see there. Oh look, there's the vehicles that don't give way to aircraft. Oh, HD, now you tell me. I'm wasting valuable passenger time. Passenger drinking time. Yeah, the gate isn't given to you by the flight plan. The gate's given to me by HD just because he's landed them before in real life. Okay, and we're good. Yep, ground power unit is available where we are, so we know we're parked in the right place. So, parking brakes can come on, our engines can be shut down, the APU is running. Down they go. we can now contact, oh hang on, I forgot that it now does this. There we go, continue. Let's get the passengers offloaded, ground services. Let's get the jetway connected, and we of course also want an external power supply. Have I ever used Pilot to ATC? Yes, I have, on FSX. Not used it on this. Oh goodness me, how cold is it? Mind you, we said it was -2, but how fast? Look at this. How fast does your windscreen normally? Is that because I turned off the engines? Wow. Okay, well, we can we can release the cabin now. Look at that. I mean, it's a great effect, but that's like something out of that film, isn't it? The Day After Tomorrow. Everything freezes over instantly. Okay, seatbelts are off. Got the beacon light off. Wing lights can go off. Taxi lights can go off. Wonderful. Connect the ground power unit. We could turn APU off. That is amazing. I've never seen that happen before. Ace. And can we have a look outside? Oh look, there you go. You can see it. Oh, hang on. I've gone behind a building. There you go. That must... -2 degrees. Everything's frosted over unbelievably quickly. Look at that. I mean, we had a bit of ice anyway when we were coming in, but not on the windshield. Wow. Okay guys, I am going to leave that there and let the de-icing crew do their stuff. Thank you very much to everyone for joining me again, and just before I go, if you do want to join me on the Discord server and everybody else that's already there to come and chat all things Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and the A320 and live streams that are coming up, community flights as well, click the link there, join the Discord server, and I'll be happy to carry on chatting with you on there. Thank you very much to all the subscribers, and of course to those that donate to the channel. It is very, very much appreciated. Hope you've all had a great 1st of January. Let's hope 2021 continues to be improved upon from 2020. Good night everyone, and I shall speak to you all very, very soon.